Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to the Solar Astrology Series. Before I get into the teaching part of it here, just for a couple of housekeeping things for you. If you're watching this on the podcast, of which there are many now, I'm linking the YouTube video of the presentation in the description box for you. Just in case you're wondering where the presentation or what screenshots I'm talking about. And the reason I'm presenting this as a presentation, more like a screen share, is so that you can revisit this anytime for a more deeper understanding or more clear understanding, because you know how we all are. We don't absorb everything in one go. Mind keeps drifting and so on and so forth. So I will leave this description box of this podcast on Spotify and Apple with a link, YouTube link. You can click on it for every podcast that you visit, and it will directly take you to the YouTube presentation. Okay, that's one part. In this one, we will be speaking in 4 videos about the heart connection and how it plays out in the different 4 types of signs: earth, fire, air, and water signs. Now I want you to look at this screen very carefully, because the heart connection, what we can see here, is the 4th house in every chart. So the 4th house represents home, heart, mother, homeland, as it is shown over here. Okay, the heart connection for every person. These are the 12 houses as per Vedic Astrology, and as you can see, it is split into the day half, the yellow one, and the night half, which is the moon half, the sun half and the moon half. What does this mean? It means this yellow shaded half is the one where we are giving away our energy to the external world. The blue half, or the moon half, or the night half, is where we are taking our internal energy, where we are being more of ourselves. So this blue triangle of circulation 159 of the heart energy is what we are going to be speaking of for all the ascendants. Okay, so what is this about? Right off the bat, you can see that the heart connection, your heart connection, is reflected as per Vedic astrology as wanting to make connection with the external world, because 2 points of this triangle are in the external world. Only 1 point is in the internal world. There itself it goes to show that your heart wants to be connected with the external reality in a more free way, in a more open way, in a more vulnerable way, because 8th and 12th houses are all about vulnerability, the sensitive parts. 8th and 12th house are also called the Moksha houses, or the liberating houses. Liberation from what? Liberation from ego. So this outward directed focus of the heart itself shows that our heart is here to meld with the rest of the collective, to be in service to the rest of the collective, to lose ourselves in the collective, and that's what feeds the heart back. Okay, that's the first aspect we can see. We are here to bring our heart into the rest of the world in the 8th and 12th houses, which we will see for every type of sign and every ascendant. Now, 8th house, which you can see here, stands for transformation. I've just taken a few of the aspects which I found relevant. Hidden aspects of life, those things which are hidden from plain sight for you. And it also means change of lifestyle, because it's gain of the 7th house. 7th house, you get married. After marriage, your entire lifestyle changes. And through life, as you go to the external world, the day half, so does your life change. You change jobs, you change places, you change your lifestyle after you get married to another human being. So that's the 8th house. It also stands for sexuality. It also stands for wealth you give off to others. See how it plays out. Day half is everything you give to others, to the external reality. 12th house, the another axis of this triangle, stands for loss of relativity. The way you relate to the world is lost here. In the sense, you lose your sense of ego more. There's a more sense of dissolution of ego and more a sense of heart connection which it feeds to. Therefore, it is termed in Vedic texts as gain of spirituality. Loss of one thing is gain of something else. It's always the case. This is lot of loss of materialistic sense to gain of spiritual. Being of service to others. That's what 12th house stands for. It also stands for your hidden strengths and weaknesses, which will be revealed in the 12th house for you. Okay, so keep this in mind, and I shall link this with all the other ascendants. Alright, keep watching. So now let's talk about the heart transformation for the fire signs. All three fire signs, Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. How does it play out in their charts? With Aries ascendant, Leo ascendant and Sagittarius ascendant. We are talking about ascendants, not the sun sign, and as per the Vedic astrology charts, okay? Just so you know. So we have the night and day half here, as we spoke of, and now Sattva and Moksha. The Moksha houses are appearing in the fire signs, first off. So as we spoke of in the previous one, Moksha houses basically means your emotional body. So the fire signs have got a path of recalibrating and working with their emotional body in order for achieving their heart transformation through life. Everything that I'm discussing here happens through life, right from birth to death. So what does the fourth house stands for Aries? It's first they need to find the for what question. For what am I doing this? The connecting with the heart. They need to connect that with their home. The Aries ascendant needs to connect with their home, with their heart, with their mother. What does mother mean to them? What does their heart mean to them? What does homeland mean to them? All the fourth house aspects. So they need to work with their heart connection first. That's the starting point for the Aries ascendant. Okay, first they need to find that, and they do that in their home itself. Beginning from their home, they take their energy and then they move towards the 8th house, which is the house after your marriage, after your relationships, the deeper aspects of your relationships, connecting intimacy, sexual lifestyle, all of those things. That's where their first point of transformation takes place. Remember, heart energy is always about continuous transformation. It's continuous. And this transformation takes place if they make the connection with their home first. Home, mother, homeland, all those aspects for the Aries ascendant. And then they move into the 8th house where they discover the hidden aspects of life. How does the hidden aspect of life happen for them? By change of their lifestyle. After marriage, you change your lifestyle. After being with someone in a relationship, you change your lifestyle. Having sex with someone changes your lifestyle. It changes who you are. That's the first point of moksha they encounter. They encounter finding their core desires in the 8th house. And that in turn starts feeding to their 12th house, which we saw was loss of relativity and ego. The final point of loss for Aries will be loss of ego, because they are egotistical. The first, they are always obsessed with themselves. So loss of that will result in gain of their heart, the gain of spirituality and being of service to others. Once they do this properly, connecting with the heart and finding the core desires, they can then move into the 12th house of hidden strengths and weaknesses. They will start discovering what their real weaknesses are, what their real strengths are. 12th house stands for that, which in turn starts feeding it back to what it means to have a home. Where is your home? Where does your heart feel at home? All these kinds of deeper aspects of heart starts coming to the Aries ascendant when they do this through life, through age and maturity. It's not an overnight thing and it's not a one-time thing. It's a continuous process. For the Leo ascendant, who has sattva and dharma, they are having all the creative intelligence and education by default, which is in the first house, number 5, as you can see. So in their house of home, heart, and motherland, they have tamas and moksha. That means they are very fixed in their emotional body. Tamas is very fixed, it's very grounded. They come very grounded in their heart. So they need to find the core desires. What does it mean? What does their mother mean to them? Homeland, heart, all these heart-based connection they first need to find in their home. Finding core desires for Leo happens in a very grounded way. Then they bring it forward to their 8th house, which stands for transformation, change of lifestyle, and everything else. So there you have tamas and moksha, the why me. The second point for a Leo is losing that big ego. Leos, as we know, is ruled in the first house by the sun, and they are highly egotistical, maybe even narcissistic on the shadow side. But moving here, if they need a change of heart and transformation, they need to first liberate their ego, because 8th house becomes the liberating point, transformation point, in order to move properly into the 12th house. The reason why I say this, if you lose things in the 8th house, if change happens and you're not taken the lessons from it, then moving into the 12th house and losing things there won't make any sense at all to you. And so these people get broken in the heart because of this, for any ascendant. So you need to understand this concept. It's very deep, it's very transformative. Okay? So if they do this loss of ego, and if they change of lifestyle and their hidden aspects of life, their sexuality, their sexual life results in the transformation, then they properly move into the 12th house, where they connect with a sense of service. It's not all about I, me, myself. It's of being of service to the society, to the greater whole which fed you, which nurtured you, which gave you all the health, wealth, relationships, and so on. You will discover your real strength and your real weakness there, and that in turn will feed into the true meaning of what it means to have a home, being at home with your own heart. That's how it plays for the Leos. For the last of the fire signs, the Sagittarius, it plays out like this. Tamas and moksha, first they need to, because they have sattva and dharma, they have already all the wisdom in the first house. Tamas and moksha, liberation from ego is their first point. They should not get carried away by this ego of saying, I have the higher wisdom, I know what all this means. That can itself be a spiritual kind of ego for the Sagittarius. So they need to lose that to make their own connection with their own heart. Okay, they need to make the connection with the home, with their mother, what their mother means to them individually, what their homeland means to them. They need to make that heart connection first, and then they move towards the 8th house of intimate relationships with another, the sexual lifestyle, where the transformation takes place. Hidden aspects of life are revealed there. It also stands for hidden secrets, change of lifestyle. And there we have sattva and moksha for them. The Cancer comes in their 8th house. So there they make the connection with the heart. Losing the ego in the 4th house will give them proper connection with the heart, with their intimate partner. Okay, this is what it comes down to. And this is all about others. Like we said, this is happening in the external world. Most of your heart is focused on the external world throughout life. If they make connection with the heart here properly, they move into the 12th house through life, where they can let go of their ego and whatever the ego desires and gain a higher sense of spirituality and service. And there they get tamas and moksha. There they can ground their core desire. Tamas and moksha here mean Scorpio wants to ground its core desire. It wants to go deep. It's a kind of a secretive sign because it's going within. So they might be very secretive about their spiritual aspects or even their sexual life. But this is where the Sagittarius ascendant will discover their hidden strengths and weaknesses, which is what will feed their sense of heart, their individual sense of what it means to be present in my heart. That's what it means for the Sagittarius ascendants. In the next ones, we'll discuss the earth signs. Keep watching.